I'm Pete Daniel, and I love to film the wildlife in my home of the Tamar Valley. The Tamar Valley is on the border of Devon and Cornwall. Join me as I show you the wildlife around the Tamar Valley for 12 months. Well, last time you saw me, we got to work on our wildlife pond up at the garden, ready for our tadpoles. I went back to the river to see if I had any results of the kingfisher on my trail camera. And then I seen my blue tit chicks for the first time. This week, I have a call from a friend who needs help with an incubator. I help a baby roe deer in the long grass in the busy harvest time, and we got visitors coming to the garden, which is fantastic to see. Well, with the sun still shining, I'm making the most of it, and I'm getting out and looking for the wildlife wherever I can. But my first stop is up to the garden, because there's something going on up there, and I need to get to the bottom of it. Right, okay, I've just set up a trail camera up at the garden. The reason I've done that is because I want to see what's going on underneath my bird table, because someone's coming up here and making out of a mess. And I'm not too sure what it is. We've got a track or a trail that goes up through the edge into the field next door. It could be pheasants, because there's always 5 or 6 pheasants up here in the morning when I come to do the chickens. Of course, then picking the food up off the floor as well, what falls off the bird table. Other than that, it could be rats, and that's what I'm hoping it's not, because I don't like rats one bit. But we shall soon see. I'll come back in a few days' time and check that camera and see what results we got. Right, on with the next job. Well, now I've set up that trail camera, I can leave it there for a few days. There's something I want to show you back home in the shed. You may remember we incubated our own chicken eggs this year, and they all hatched out and the chicks are doing really, really well. But now we got something else going on. Well, how about this for a little story? We thought we was done with the incubators this year, but earlier on today, a friend of ours, Jem, messaged me asking about incubators. I said, yep, we got an incubator. What's the problem? How can we help? They were cutting a field of grass when a hen-bird pheasant went out. Just like that, gone. And in the grass was a nest with pheasant eggs in it. 8 lovely eggs. I said, if I can get the incubator set up, can you get the eggs over here? So Jen brought the eggs over. The incubator was up to speed, so the eggs went straight in. Now, tonight I've candled the eggs, just like I did with the chicken eggs earlier on in the year, and there's nothing inside of them. And that means 2 things. 1, the pheasant hasn't been sat on them for very long, or 2, the eggs are infertile and not going to have anything. So I've got to turn the eggs myself, manually, just roll them over gently, because the turning mechanism in my other incubator is packed in, doesn't work no more. And then after 7 days, I'm going to candle the eggs again, and see if we've got those veins coming down from the air sac into the egg, down towards the yolk where the little embryo will be. So, hopefully, we'll have something inside of them, and we'll have a bit of luck, and we may be able to save some of these pheasant eggs, and that'll be really, really good. So fingers crossed. Well, fingers crossed for those pheasant eggs in the incubator. I'll do all I can to try and help them hatch out. But now, I gotta get on, as it's time for our tadpoles to go up to the new home at the pond up at the garden. Right, well, of course, we dug a pond in over the weekend, We put the gravel in and we plan it out with weed. So it's ready for the tadpoles to come in from the pond tank, their new home at the pond up at the garden. And hopefully, fingers crossed, in a few weeks' time, we'll see some froglets starting to come out the pond. That'll be absolutely brilliant. Right, let's get you in there. And off they go into their new home. There they go. Well, before I let the tadpoles go in the pond, I set up the camera in the bird box. You have a look at this, it's wonderful. Have a look at my little chickies. They are. I think that's absolutely wonderful to see that, and to see the parent birds coming in and feeding the chicks as well. Absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to leave them alone now for a few days, and I'll come back and check the progress and see how they're growing. But I think that's wonderful to see. With the tadpoles in their new home and my baby blue tits coming along nicely, it's now time for me and Elsie to go and see Grandad Alan as he makes a start at cutting the grass for silage. Right, with me and Elsie, we've been out for a wander round with the camera this morning, and now we're going to make our way back over across the valley because Grandad Alan is starting to cut for silage, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Elsie's open for a ride in the tractor, so we're going to go over there and see him. Go on in, Joe. Let's make our way over. Well, there's Grandad Alan, Joni, cutting the grass for it, ready for silage. That time of year is a busy time. And sometimes what happens here is the roe deer that we got, they'll have their little babies in May, coming up end of May as well, in this long grass. Now, when the tractor comes along, the deer don't move because they think they're safe to stay down low, these baby deer. And unfortunately that's where a lot of deer get killed. But obviously the farmers are going to make the grass, they're going to make the silage and the hay and everything for the winter feed. So it's a busy time of year. Right, he's coming up. I'll see, I think we might have a ride in the tractor. That'll be good, wouldn't it? What a beautiful sight that is. That's a baby fawn, a baby roe deer. I've just walked through the long grass because Dad's cutting the grass for silage. And I'm just checking the grass. And I just put that baby deer out, so I've saved that deer's life. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Here comes the tractor now, cutting. After that, very good news. Good news. Look at that for a wonderful sight there. That's a baby roe deer. Elsie's in the car with him. They're cutting the last of the grass. I've just walked around the outside of the field before he cuts the outside, just to make sure that baby faun is gone. We've seen it disappear down across the field, down towards the wood, so we think it's gone down into the wood. So that's good news. We managed to save that baby faun. There he goes. Well, that was fantastic to see that baby roe deer and know that we saved it from the mower. That's absolutely brilliant, and it gives me a fantastic feeling inside, and hopefully one day I'll see that deer again in the future and I'll be able to film it. But for now, it's back to the garden, as I want to check that trail camera and see what visitors are coming and making all that damage to my grass. Right, well that's the chickens fed and watered. So now I've done that, I can have a look at my trail camera and see what's coming to the garden and making a hell of a mess of my grass under the bird table. Well, do you know, when I went back to check that camera at the garden, I didn't know what I was going to see. We had all sorts of birds and even that rat showed up. But when I seen what was causing the mess around the bird table, well, it was brilliant. And I don't think I'm going to mind the mess anymore. Next time, join me as I go looking for one of my favourite animals in the Tamar Valley. I come across a lovely roe buck and we see if there's any development in the incubator with the pheasant eggs. And of course, there's always my blue tit chicks to have a look at.